Over CapitalWeatherKing.com, a nice sunny start to our week as temperatures slowly warm up. Our warming trend, though, could be interrupted by maybe Wednesday night into Thursday, perhaps even into Friday, as light rain chances kind of dance around the region just a little bit. But we start off nice, enjoy that sunshine, and I do want to flag Monday morning, tomorrow morning, we could see some icy, patchy spots as some of our melting snow refreezes overnight tonight. So please keep that in mind. Add a few minutes to your commute, perhaps if you have to drive tomorrow morning or need to walk very carefully out to your car. And overall rain chances this week are light, and we'll talk about how that might impact our precipitation year to date, how it's looking for the drought scenario and abnormally dry spots in the region. For our latest forecast, go to CWG.news/latest. Our PM update is now out on the blog on CapitalWeatherKing.com. Hello, Janet. David, indeed, and after 7 p.m. sunset, can you believe it? I'm simulcasting to you on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube after 7 p.m. as we get closer and closer to the equinox, when we have roughly 12 hours of daylight around the equinox. Good evening, David. Good evening, Ruth Elisa. And let's see, we've got Paul. You still want one more snowstorm before winter ends. This could have been our last snow of the season, 13.2 inches year to date for the season to date at DCA Airport, National Airport. Up and down the East Coast, starting the Mid-Atlantic, going up into the Northeast, we had some decent snow cover be put down over this past weekend, and we did a decent job. Maybe we did not do quite as well as we wanted to, predicting what would happen northwest of the Beltway, but we did okay, we think, as you may have seen on our Twitter feed at Capital Weather today. Predicted snow on top there, and then on the bottom is what actually fell. And we did okay. We think. So I'm sorry if I can't get you, Paul, one more snowstorm before the winter ends, but at least you had this over this past weekend. All right, happy daylight saving time to you as well, Ruth Elisa. I hope everyone remembered to turn their clocks back 1 hour. Now we are broadcasting to you after 7 p.m. on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for following us on our 3 channels as well. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherKing.com. Our weekly Sunday sunset chats, our Q&As are going on for 20 minutes total. Thanks for tuning in for these first couple minutes. And yes, Rick, we think we probably have seen the last snow of the season along the 95 corridor in the DC Beltway area. Good evening, Cyrus from downtown DC. Excellent. Hey, Paul. Hello, David. I'm not sure of the exact date of that. Laura, loving the light. You're ready for warmer temps and no more snow and cold. Well, I've got good news. If you like warmer temps, a warming trend is underway slowly but surely this week. We might pause our warming trend on Thursday as some light rain chances kind of bring in some clouds and hide the sunshine on Thursday. Maybe a few raindrops on Friday, but we do resume our warming trend into the weekend. It looks like we could even be warm at least into Saturday as well. So if you are looking forward to some 60s and 70s, this is your week. Just be aware we still have a cold start tomorrow. Some patchy, icy spots are possible tomorrow morning, so maybe add a couple minutes extra to drive safely and walk safely with your commute tomorrow morning as well. All right, we've got Dr. Edzika Anderson. It was enough snow. I'm glad you thought so. Hello, Elizabeth. Laurie Martin, thanks so much for the compliments. And we've got Jeremy. The difference between Oat and the district for snowfall was marked. Yes, indeed. It was quite a cutoff of snow along the 95 corridor. Let's look at that really quick. Here is our snow counter, now updated, 13.2 inches year to date. Look at that, how kind of 95 was the dividing line in the mid-Atlantic region. Here is the predicted snowfall on top that we put out, our accumulation map, what actually fell on the bottom. We didn't do the best job northwest of the Beltway, but I think we did pretty awesome overall in the region. Yes, indeed, we spring forward with DST, with daylight saving time, Lori, so we lose 1 hour of sleep because 2 a.m. last night became 3 a.m. And then Elizabeth, you're most welcome for all the help, and I'm glad you were able to move everything indoors in time for this past weekend. And Lori, thanks so much for that. And Alex, daylight saving time has started today, yes indeed, and you're looking forward to the warmth that we are talking about for this upcoming week, 60s and 70s, with a slight pause in our warming trend on Thursday as light rain chances enter the region. Hello, Alex. Hello, Mike. And Stephanie, Will we actually get a spring, or is it going to go straight to summer? I think this is kind of what we like in DC, easing into spring. Although here's our average high temperature this week. We're starting out 55 degrees is our seasonal average for today. 55 degrees at National Airport. So we are going to be a little bit above average on Monday, and then we go kind of further and further above average as we get warmer and warmer into the end of the week, pausing a little bit of that warming trend on Thursday with the rain chances. So I think this is spring. We could see one more or two chilly days. In April, we've seen some snowflakes that don't accumulate. Along I-81, we can see one last frost or freeze out near Mother's Day, which we can talk about in a moment for you gardeners who are anxious to plant. And we've got Jason, loving the warmth coming back as always, but you'll appreciate the seasonal changes. Indeed, it helps us mark time with all of our more than 4 seasons in the DC area. Raindrop on this forecast graphic here, Scott, means a couple raindrops possible, some slight rain chances possible on Friday. The team and I are not totally confident that rain on Thursday will completely clear out on Friday, and we have another storm system moving in perhaps on Saturday, so ahead of that we could see some more raindrops on Friday. All right, wow, Mike, 4.5 to 5 foot drifts in the Blue Ridge Mountains of snow. Excellent. If you are a winter storm lover, a snow lover there, I think you are, nearish the Woodstock area. Here's our season to date snowfall tracker now updated, 13.2 inches at DCA Airport, awfully close to our average seasonal snowfall. So we are doing okay for the season. If this is our last snowstorm, can't say we didn't try getting to our seasonal average. Spring has begun to sprung, says David. I agree. Dr. Adeshka, yes, the warm weather. Indeed, I'm glad you're going to like it. Cherry blossoms are still on track for mid-March. I think we're thinking around March 22nd. I'll make sure to put that into next week's broadcast. We'll keep an eye on those cherry blossoms for you. And we've got Alex. The past winter was brutal. I know you're the warm weather lover, Alex. And waiting to put your grapes in the ground, Delia. Yes, I think let's talk about waiting on some of those plantings for the items that are kind of sensitive to, let me see if I can, I did not load this properly. Well, let me put up the forecast for you, latest at CWG.news/latest. I'm going to see if I can find my graphic in my system for the median date of average when we might see our last frost or freeze, but it is not in here. I'm going to search for one more second. This is frustrating me because I found it on purpose. Found it. All right. So I'm going to put this up quick and dirty very briefly. There we are. So in the reds and darker reds earlier in the season for the average time we see our last frost or freeze. In the valley, you see there north of Woodstock, kind of in the Shenandoah County area. That could be near Mother's Day. They're in the green. And most of us are in the April timeframe in the yellows here. So I would wait to plant your sensitive items until maybe a few more days. Let's get into maybe later March for much of us in the region. Downtown, inside the Beltway, maybe even down toward Fredericksburg, you are getting closer and closer to being able to plant those items that are pretty sensitive to cold weather. It's unlikely that we see some, but you can compromise and put some of those sensitive plants in pots and maybe bring them inside if we have an unexpected cold snap at the end of March. All right, Rick, you're most welcome. Laura, Saturday could be a little bit unsettled. Here are the temperatures to kind of ease your pain a little bit. It does look mild, 60s and 70s south of town perhaps for this weekend. We could even see a thunderstorm on Saturday, so stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com. We think it could be unsettled with some clouds and rain chances around. Roads were horrible on Saturday morning, Mary, and I want to also flag they could see the roads, some icy patches tomorrow morning as well. I tried to put early icy spots there on the Monday forecast for tomorrow morning, so keep that in mind. And our latest forecast, the PM update at CWG.news/latest on CapitalWeatherGang.com. We're there 24/7 anytime you need us. And we've got Cyrus ready to start charging your batteries for those remote airplanes. Excellent. And the wind this week. Let's talk about kites and flying those remote airplanes. The wind tomorrow, pretty tame, kind of under 20, if not 15 miles per hour for most of the region. Gusts throughout the work week actually might stay under 20 miles per hour, generally under 10 miles per hour for those kind of sustained breezes. We might not notice the breeze some more often than not Monday through Friday this week. So winds are finally getting a little bit tame for this week as we do see that warming trend getting underway. And yes, our average high temperature as we start this week should be right in the mid 50s, 55 degrees to be specific at DCA Airport. So we are going to head above average pretty quickly this work week. So enjoy it if you are a warm weather lover. And Maria wants those cherry blossoms with those great emoji. And Stephanie, the rain will wash some things away, but not too soon this week. It's looking like light rain chances for Thursday if we do kind of keep that rain on schedule. And of course, stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com as we get closer to Thursday. Here's through Wednesday evening. As you can see, it's creeping in from the southwestern areas from the DC region, but the rain might stay dry. We might stay dry in much of the mid-Atlantic, the DC area, Maryland, Pennsylvania through Wednesday evening. It's not until kind of later into Wednesday night, Thursday, maybe Friday and Saturday. This is the total rainfall by the time you talk to me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday sunset chats, that we could see a quarter inch, if not a third of an inch of rain in much of the region. South of Virginia, it looks like that's where the main storm track is staying, so that's where heavier amounts of rain are for this upcoming week. We are turning a little abnormally dry. We have higher evapotranspiration rates. Things are evaporating more readily with the higher sun angle. Transpiration is beginning as things are blooming and turning green and requiring some soil moisture, pulling that out as the plants become more and more awake. Sunsets are getting later and later. Yes, indeed, Alex, we can expect a few more minutes additional evening sunlight by the time you talk to me next Sunday for our weekly Sunday sunset chats. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com, simulcasting to you on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And let's see. Oh, your pollen, Elizabeth, is that what is hurting you the last couple Saturdays? Maybe the weather as well with kind of the unsettled rain chances, but I'll quickly put up pollen for the trees. I'm feeling it. You're probably feeling it if you're an allergy sufferer as well. And let's see, we've got, yes, Mike wants some thunderstorms on Saturday. We could indeed see that with the rain chances for Saturday, though it is warm, kind of maybe giving some fuel to a couple thunderstorms. At the end of this week, we are going to kind of finish that warming trend and maybe keep it there on Saturday. 60s, 70s still possible as we get into the weekend, but stay tuned. Much could change by the time we're talking the weekend forecast, just kind of giving you sketchy details that could be still mild but unsettled with some rain chances. All right, Tim, I trust that I'm glad you trust me. That's most kind. Thank you very much. Pi Day is tomorrow, David, 314. Excellent. And we've got Joanne on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully we can put daylight saving time to bed someday. Yes, it is controversial, but I know we have lost an hour of sleep. Hopefully everyone has sprung forward the 1 extra hour. 2 a.m. became 3 a.m. this Sunday morning. And that is why I'm now broadcasting to you after 7 p.m. That evening light, it can be nice, but I know switching the clocks kind of throws our bodies a little haywire for a couple more days. I expect to feel it as well. Nice to see spring-like weather in the forecast, Steve. I am ready for a little bit of a thaw, and then some, as we get a kind of warming trend this week. Sunnier to start, some rain chances pause us on Thursday into that warming trend, but resuming that warming trend on Friday with a bit more sunshine again as well. And soon replacing the snow forecast will be a thunderstorm forecast. Yes, indeed, David. We'd like to put that in on CapitalWeatherGang.com on our blog forecast as well. Our storm potential index will be there before long when we see the chances for some thunderstorms. And we've got Drew. Good to see you as well. Thanks for tuning in. Martina, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we don't start summer right away. I know everyone kind of wants a spring in DC. It can be hard to grasp onto some spring, but this is a pretty good spring-like week, even though, yes, our average high temperature right there for this time of year, 55 degrees, we should be only in the mid-50s this time of year. So above average we go with this warming trend into the end of the week. Pause briefly with light rain chances on Thursday, but yes, above average, but it should feel like spring. So I say let's enjoy it for the moment, and can't rule out, one more cold snap with a couple snowflakes at the end of the month or even into April. We've seen non-accumulating snowflakes in the DC area as well. So remember our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. We've got Rebecca talking about your buds going. That's excellent. Wow, daffodils are emerging as well. Kristen, thanks for tuning in and your kind words. Hello from Clarksburg, Earl. Good to see you. And Michelle, we've got, kids in the dark during the winter because of the time with the later sunrises, indeed. And Adelia, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And glad the snow melted off your car, Carol. So am I. If you have any patchy, icy spots tomorrow morning, with the melted snow, it could refreeze. So add a couple minutes onto that commute tomorrow morning. I'm glad your car melted of snow, but some of that melted snow could refreeze on some of the roads overnight and sidewalks. So be careful tomorrow morning and take it slow, add a couple minutes to that morning commute. All right, snowflakes for the Nats home opener. No, thank you, Carol. Let's not have that. And yep, David, with the stronger March sun and even into April, it's very hard, even with clouds, with that high, stronger sun angle this time of year to get snow to stick. Yes, indeed. So great points all around. And gardeners, I know you are anxious to plant, but I would wait in the yellow areas and especially the green areas till later into the spring to plant. Perhaps downtown as we get into later March, I have more and more confidence that you can plant into the soil permanently some of those sensitive annuals, sensitive plants that can easily wither with some cold weather. Maybe there's a compromise. If you're eager to do it this upcoming week, as we get warmer and warmer this week, maybe put them in some potted plants so that you can bring them inside at the end of the month or into early April if we do see one more cold snap. But the earliest areas, and this is the average date of our last frost or freeze, the darker reds and lighter reds, that's kind of the March time frame. Yellows are April, and some of that patchy green work there in the higher elevations west of town, Shenandoah County, for instance, could see one more frost or freeze near Mother's Day. Yes, May is on the table for last frost or freeze when you get into those higher elevations west of DC. Ready for yard work, says Jackie. Excellent. And we've got, I think I've caught up. Yep, Drew, I think some thunderstorms are possible this upcoming weekend, but we don't have high confidence just yet. But Saturday could be warm enough again. 60s and 70s are possible that we see a couple thunderstorms, rumbles of thunder with our rain chances this weekend. Here's your weekly forecast at a glance up above. Thursday is the most likely time we see some rain, kind of pausing our warming trend. Not by much, I mean, still in the 60s most likely. 20% chance of rain is about right, and it could be fairly light rain as well. And we could use a little bit more in the region, which we can talk about in a second. But yeah, a couple raindrops possible on Friday. More sunshine returns overall, though, resuming our warming trend, perhaps into Saturday as well. We stay warm, but another storm system could bring more rain chances on Saturday, some clouds, and even a couple thunderstorms. We'll keep you posted at capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Latest forecast, our PM update at CWG.news/latest. You can touch on my face popping up below on your mobile device. You'll see the link directly to our latest forecast and above on this video if you're on your desktop or laptop. What else do I have for you? Rain chances, again, staying out of the picture generally until Wednesday evening. This is rainfall through Wednesday evening. And we've got wind staying under control this week. If you're looking for a calmer week without much wind, this is it. So enjoy that. And of course, I hope you are okay after losing an hour of sleep and you sprung forward. That's why we lost 1 hour of time overnight, but we sprung from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. overnight. And that is why you were talking to me after 7 p.m. on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. That evening light is back. I'm Camden Walker for capitalweathergang.com, on the air for another 2 minutes. Let me know if you have any questions or comments before I go. And we've got allergies, Joan. They are still around. They are a little bit better, but honestly, let me show you that tree pollen is moderate. So we are going to be feeling it this week, especially through Wednesday when we're sunny and getting warmer and warmer. The trees are going to enjoy that. So keep that in mind if you're an allergy sufferer like me. Now let's look ahead really quick. We have temperatures next week leaning a little bit above average. Our average next week is now up to 58 degrees for a high temperature at DCA Airport. And precipitation wise, let's look at that. Slight lean toward above average precipitation next work week as well. And we could use it. We are getting a little bit dry in the yellow, abnormally dry around the region. So we could use some rain, but luckily we have a little bit to speak of, third of an inch by the time you talk to me next Sunday as well. Possibility of severe, Drew, on Saturday. It's so low, it's of a chance probability. It's not worth even really thinking about that just yet. But you know, stay tuned. You've got good instinct. Stephanie prefers the evening light. Mike, thanks for tuning in. You're very kind. And yep, Carol, eyes are itchy from that pollen. Trees are very much putting out that pollen right now. It is moderate. Ugh. Spring is coming even to Maine, Gary. Excellent. I hope you can melt that snow. And we've got Carol, eyes are itchy from this tree pollen. And Laura, could you have the pollen back as a guest sometime this spring? Oh, you maybe mean the pollen expert. I will check on that. Yep, there it is. Gotcha. I got your correction. Elizabeth, but I like that we were kind of personifying pollen. And Rebecca, appreciate your kind words. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. I believe we have touched on everything. And of course, our snow forecast, you be the judge. I think we did a pretty good job from what we predicted above to what actually occurred here below. Maybe northwest of the Beltway, we wanted to do a little bit better, but I hope you felt like you were informed enough with the snow this past weekend. We are up to 13.2 inches of snow now at DC Airport, getting pretty close, perhaps the last snow of the season and a decent chance of that. Right near our 13.7 inch seasonal snow average. So we did pretty good, near our average snowfall for DCA. And I think that is all for me for now. Let me put back up here one more time. Our average right now is 55, mid 50s for this upcoming start to the week, and we're gonna quickly head above that. So enjoy the warm weather if you are a warm weather lover. It is kind of spring-like, getting warm by the end of the week. Slightly pause though for those light rain chances on Thursday. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. And Laura, thanks again for tuning in. And David, I'm glad you enjoyed these chats. I will see you next Sunday, even later into the 7 o'clock hour. Please stay well this week. Make sure you note around DC those early icy patches are possible. Add a couple minutes onto your commute tomorrow morning. I'm Cameron Walker. Anytime you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you, Jackie and Drew. You all take care, and bye for now.